There, Grace, you'll love that title, you big girl. And that's special. Oh my God, I need coffee or something. This is terrible. Hey, Miss Lisa. Apparently, because Mr. Grizz is so special, I have to do individual ones and call him first to schedule so he can be here. Yet he's not here. Just for Grizz. Oh my God. I don't know. I think he's questioning the NPK system. I'm in the middle of painting my neighbor's garage and I'm getting these messages from Grizz going, dude, how the hell am I supposed to find us? And you don't use links and then I don't get notices. All right, Grizz, if you're close, I'll come on and turn the live stream on just for you, buddy. Oh, Grizz is out trolling. Oh, well, let me grab something to drink. I'll be right back. Just take a second. Oh. Hey, Miss Sherry. Wait a minute. Why don't you? Hey, that ain't right. That ain't right at all. Sherry, you're supposed to have that. That's just too odd. All right, that should fix it, Sherry. But yeah, I'm over there and I'm painting the garage, and there he is. There he is. There's the man of the hour, just for Grizz. Here we go. Now you got your notice, right? Did you get a notice this time, Grizz? Because the Green Wizard went live just for you, buddy. Glad I was finished with that paint job. Anyhow, I was stumbling over how to. I've been spinning in the wind all morning long about how to explain to somebody that worrying about the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potash, or the NPK system, is actually bad for your plants. And the only thing at the time I could think of was it's kind of like putting your plants on welfare, because they're trying to do their job, but they're going to get lazy about it, and then the food web, because it's getting what it needs, is just going to back away and go somewhere else, because now the plant's not putting out what it would normally put out in nature to feed the plant, or to feed the food web. It's kind of like a domino effect. And the way to stop the dominoes from falling is to reach in there and pull one domino out, and the whole deal stops at that one domino. So as soon as you go in and you plug in a synthetic nitrogen, the plant's no longer calling for nitrogen. So that part of the food web backs off, which causes a domino effect, because then more things happen. Then all of a sudden your plant is sick. So we're going to run in with a herbicide and drive off more of the food web. Now we've got a chemically dependent plant that's sick, but we're not allowing disease to get to it, because we're going to kill off all the disease when Mother Nature would normally eliminate that plant. we've now got this thing on welfare, and then we're going to eat the fruits and vegetables off of that plant. That's what the NPK system's doing. We're pushing everything from the food web off. And then the plant just gets lazy, and it produces inadequate fruits and vegetables for all of us. So to worry about, oh my God, do I have enough nitrogen in the soil? Do I have enough this? Do I have enough that? Look, when they test the plants have adequate enough everything they need in a natural system. In one place of the roots, it's got more nitrogen than anywhere else in the roots. Or it's got more potash, or it's got a higher pH, or it's got a this, or it's got a that. It all balances out when it comes into the main core of the plant and then produces the vegetable or the fruit, what have you. All of this is happening without our assistance. For us to be in there messing with it is just going to screw things up really, really bad. Why people misunderstand that, I don't get. We've been on this system since the 70s, and everybody is sick. Everybody's overweight. Everybody's tired. Everybody's, you can't get a kid off a couch playing PlayStation because he's got no energy, adequate enough energy to go do any of this stuff. Absolutely. Look, parts of the food web, the beneficial parts of the food web during composting, they are pulling everything apart. They're deteriorating everything. They are just in there devouring, turning everything back into mush, and don't call it a topsoil. It's not. Compost is its own thing. It's not soil. It's not topsoil. It's an inoculant, if anything. When you give it sugars like molasses, you're just giving it more energy, like a plant would do, like a living plant would do. That's why so many plants just explode out of compost piles, because they're pumping in sugar and everything is there in abundance that the plant needs, and that the plant just takes off. But when you apply that to the entire yard and you apply that to your gardens, that's what happens. When you add a little bit more sugar prior to the plants being able to come in contact with it and feed it the sugar, you just amp it up. You put it on like us, we get on steroids. We're all amped up on sugar. That's kind of what you're doing with your compost pile. Oh, that was you? It didn't say it was you. Go ahead, call. Remember, this is a special show for GRIZZ, everybody. Special. So if he's got a phone call, sugar feeds the microbial life. The microbial life will go into hyper, basically, like when you put a kid on sugar before bed, they'll go into hyper mode and it'll devour the compost quicker. Yes. It does all sorts of wondrous things. Yes, Mr. Grizz. Oh, all right. Yeah. Can I play this live? Can I put this on speakerphone? All righty. Go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, I have a compost pile that is just for scraps to keep the doggone out of. Like when I cook a steak and there's a bone, I don't want her to get to there because of her deal and stuff. So I have a compost pile that's not relevant to anything we do, and I have the casing on in. I can't turn it. it's just a way for me to get it, let it break down. It's probably going to sour and all that. I'm not worried about that part of it. My question is, in natural environment, like in the forest or out in the fields or whatever, there's a natural composting element that happens in the forest or in the on the prairies and stuff. How would you bring that to a typical garden area where you didn't want to do a separate composting pile, before you had to worry about the temperature being raised on out? In the past, what I've always done,
you bury it.
When I weeded the garden, I just laid the weeds down on the soil.
Right, but you can bury it.
Bury the weeds?
Yep.
And that's better? Because I would think that the weeds that on top of the ground, as you pull them and lay them, that's still keeping the organic material, keeping the soil from getting too hot.
Right, 100%.
And because you don't want to, I agree with you, don't want to ruin the microorganisms that's in the soil.
Right.
Which this year I didn't do. I've got a lot of old bare soil that, I'm not too proud of right now. I weeded it up and then I hauled all the weeds out of the garden. I shouldn't have done that. I should have scattered them as I was going. But that does a natural composting like that, and then bury it in the fall or something. Right.
And then cover everything, because you want to put a blanket on everything to keep the heat in there over, what did I say this morning? 130 degrees.
Well, now I'm talking about during wintertime when the soil is not going to get to that temperature.
No, it'll get into 60, 70, 80 degrees naturally.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying cover the garden in the fall?
Absolutely.
And not just with organic material. You're talking about putting a blanket.
A blanket of leaves, a blanket of branches, a blanket of anything. Hay.
Okay, when you think blanket, I was thinking something man-made.
No.
Okay, so put a blanket of grass, leaves, twigs, wood chips, whatever, to lay over it during the winter.
Right, because the food web, and just to explain this to everybody, the food web, the reason it was given that name, if you can get in there just before microscopic level, if you could go in with something this simple, just a magnifying glass, you will see what looks like spider webs spreading all over everything. That's the food web starting to devour everything dead in your yard or in your garden or in your whatever. So when you put a cover over your garden in the winter and you let that sit, it starts to heat up all by itself. So it could be 30 degrees outside and snowing, and your garden is heating up because all of this live activity is taking place.
Okay. Now, on the another thing on the winter garden, not winter gardening, but covering. So this fall when I pull my plants and I pull them and I just lay it down over on top, everything.
Right.
And my plan is this fall. My plan is to fence the chickens on in there and keep them in there scratching around all winter long. And throw some more wood chips and everything on in there. Now, two different things that I would like to do beforehand, and I want what your opinion on this. I got some clover seed that I would like to plant real soon in the garden. Is it too late for me to plant clover seed?
No.
In an AC environment?
No, put her down now.
Okay. And so I want to cover all the bare soil with clover seed, with clover grass. I want to let that grow on up. That don't grow too tall. I don't care if it does flower and everything.
No, it never does.
Yeah. So I want to plant it with clover, and then this fall I want to cover it on top of that with wood chip. Will the clover still come back the following year, or will I need to replant it?
Nope, it'll come back. Once it's established, okay. Once the root base is established, if there's a need for nitrogen, it will come back.
Okay, and then would you recommend when I cover the garden that way of doing the pellets in at that point again? The molasses pellets.
Absolutely.
Okay. because that's the type of deal, the type of composting I'm kind of more interested in, is not having per se a compost pile.
You want an all natural compost, right?
Right. Yeah, I wanted to do its natural cycle, and even if it takes longer for it to break down, that's okay with me.
Right. Well, see, that's maybe apparently that I should have explained. When you do your gardening this way and you lay your blanket down, even in the summertime, that's composting. It is composting all year long. As long as there is activity in there for the food web to keep going and something for it to digest, it's going to continue. That's why I say you can add wood chips. They're beneficial wood chip microscopic life forms that will go active in your garden. And as they're going, they're not going to allow weeds to germinate. They're not going to allow any of that. All that anaerobic conditions, the claying conditions, fade away as the food web goes hyperactive. So anytime you would add molasses pellets, what have you, alfalfa even has molasses mixed in it that they feed to animals. So you can get the combination of both and feed that. The old stuff, this stuff you wouldn't no longer feed to a horse, you can spread out in your garden and it will kick the food web into hyperactive mode.
Okay, then one more question. I have 2 big dump truck loads of wood chips here. One of them's been here for quite a while. I haven't done anything to take care of or protect it. Never had a need to. Now, the first load here, this summer, it started growing a fungus on it that was bright orange.
Ooh.
Now because of lack of water and stuff, it's turned brownish, blackish.
Okay.
And it's just areas on the on top of the pile, not going down inside.
Go in there with your front end loader, pull a little bit off, and see if you come across a gray layer.
Okay.
It'll look like ashes. If you did, it's bad. Do not use it.
Okay, then what would you recommend to do with it then?
I would spread it out along the tree line that you don't want any weeds to grow, because it'll burn it all off.
Okay.
Because that has now become a toxic pile if there's ash in it.
Yeah. Now, okay, well, this is fresh green wood chip when it was brought here.
Well, yeah, but it's gone through some cycles and some phases, so you want to check it and see if it went acidic.
Okay. So I wonder if, this might be a good thing, because maybe we'll cook. Maybe I can dump it on blackberries I want to get rid of.
That'll feed the blackberries. Anything acid will make blackberries grow even more.
Oh, well, I'll keep it away from the blackberries then.
Yeah, you don't want to drive the pH level down. No. You don't want the acid levels too high. No.
Okay. Okay, thanks. I'm going to get back in chat, Ron.
All right, we'll talk to you, buddy.
Okay, bye.
Actually, you're almost right. If you guys use ashes, if you've got blackberries and you want to get rid of them, use ashes right out of a fire. Not hot. Not the coals, burning coals, what have you. Ashes themselves, they neutralize the soil and it'll die off on the blackberries. They'll actually slow down and back off because the soil becomes too neutral. And blackberries, roses, what have you, they love acidic soil. So going in there with ashes is going to stop blackberries. It's going to stop roses. I don't know why you'd want to, but and yeah, you want to amp up your blackberries. If you've got cats, your kitty litter, don't throw it away. Go pour it on your roses. Go pour it on your blackberries. Yeah, I know that's clay, and I know that's this and that and the other. But when the food web hits it, it'll devour it all. It'll keep it from going anaerobic, and it'll still bring the acid levels up, which is what berries love. Absolutely enjoy. Yes, all of those berries love acidic soils. So dump ashes on them. Neutralize that soil, and they'll back off. And yes, Grizz, I went back into that other video and I put both of the other I linked both the other videos this morning right before I turn this on. So the links are there for Composting 101 and Composting 102 so that you can follow them along and see what's going on and see why I went the way I went. Because without feedback, and that's kind of what I was talking about with Rick and goofing around this morning, what have you. Without feedback, the creators don't know you're there. They know there's people watching, but that could be people offline that aren't registered YouTubers. Yeah, you're getting views from those people, whether they're watching on TV or a telephone or whatever. They're just not a registered user. It still registers as a view, but they're not out here active in YouTube like all of us, where we're all active members registered. So for lack of anything, any feedback, um, we just kind of wing it. We need that feedback. We need that. I don't care if you just drop in and say, I've got nothing to say. You're an idiot. Doesn't matter. It gives us incentive to keep going. Hey, Mystic. Alrighty, let me catch back up because I am missing some wrenches. I can see it. I know all of you. I trust all of you, but I'm missing some wrenches. So let me just drop back on chat here a bit. Everybody sound off so I can make sure I get everybody. I just put in the number 1 just so I see your name and make sure I've got everybody added. Where's Dirty Rotten? There you are. All right, I think that's everybody. Hippie chick, I got you. Got you. Okay. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. You're just not sounding off. You're listening, but you're not sounding off. That's okay. We got this. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. There we go. That takes care of that. Mr. Oz, what's going on, my friend? Oh, I got a notice. Oz, that our website, my website, did an update again. So if you get a chance, log back in and make sure everything's okay. It looked okay. It looked like they sent the notice for no reason, but just double check to make sure you've got access and everything's still going all right. If you guys want to do a web page, not a YouTube page, not that he can't, but a web page, Oz, see Oz Art. He's my webmaster. He handles that other page. We haven't put a whole lot on it. It doesn't look like it's super active, but it's a book. It's not a sales point other than the book. Let's see. The only other thing you're going to be watching for, Grizz, when you utilize some of those wood chips across your garden, like when you go to blanket, depending on what type of wood some of that is, okay, bear with me now. I don't know how into mushrooms you are, and I don't mean them other mushrooms. I'm talking about just regular cooking mushrooms, white caps, portobellos, what have you. You could, on the pile that changed colors because it was too fresh, you could theoretically inoculate those wood chips when you go to put them down along the tree line, especially if they're in potentially shaded areas. Inoculate that with mushrooms and load your cabinets with fresh mushrooms next year. It just depends on what stage those mushrooms have gone, or what stage that wood has gone through. Absolutely. Well, Bobby, no, I'm not. No, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna go. I know it's a medicinal, and I know it's a. But I'm not going to tell you how to grow those. That's no. There are some secrets the wizard's going to keep to himself. That may be in some magic tea I bring down or something one day when we hang out. But I ain't going to tell you. Yeah, I would, especially if there's some hardwood mixed in that, in those wood chips they brought you. I would very, very, very seriously consider white cap mushrooms, that kind of stuff, and inoculating that when you run the tree line and you layer that stuff out to do your weed control, what have you. I would come through there with an inoculant and spray that whole area down with. You don't even have to spray it. You can just dump it out of a bucket. Uh, because mushrooms, and these are the ones you buy at the grocery store. If you could see microscopically, because they're almost that small, if you could see microscopically how many mushroom spores there are in a mushroom cap, when you cut those things up and you put those things in dehydrated water, not tap water, dehydrated water, and you blend those and you spread those out nice and thick, and then you go out and you spread those over top of wood chips or downed trees for some of you. If you've got tree lines, what have you, you could have a bumper crop of mushrooms come next spring. And they're only there a few days. So you'd almost have to be watching daily because mushrooms come up really quick and they're gone really quick. They're in for a week and then gone. That's all right. You'll be able to go back and rewatch this because I'll leave this one up. Um, this was just for entertainment value only. Unless one of you guys have got another off the wall topic, I've got some stuff I have to do. The honeydew lists today. Um, Actually, Chris, I'm gonna post a picture later on Facebook. Um, I'm actually questioning a plant. Pick a Rick, you might want to take a look too. I planted radishes to amp up the bed naturally, to just get all my nitrogen in. And I've got these 3 plants that have popped up. There were no different seeds, no nothing, but these 3 plants popped up that are dwarfing the bed uncontrollably. And I have no idea what they are. They look like they could be sunflowers, but they've only come up to 3 foot tall and stopped. So I can't identify them. I'm not sure what they are. I didn't plant sunflower seeds, but I got something coming up. I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook later. I'll forward it to you, Grizz, because I'm just not sure what it is. I've never seen it before. I don't know. Oh, I've got 50% of that done already, Bobby. 50% of my honeydew list is done. And the next door neighbor's garage got its 3rd coat of paint today. So it's done. She's no longer in fear of the city coming after her and citing her. So my good deed for the week is done with a complete paint job of her garage. So I'm all good. I've earned my brownie points for the week, I think. Yeah. Well, it's going to be more entertaining than watching Grizz cook. I'll point that out again. So everybody, if Grizz puts out another one of his breakfast videos, just go watch Bobby sleep. Seriously, it's more entertaining. Hey, Living. Yes, what's going on? Well, see that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize you can grow mushrooms very, very simply, very, very easily, and you can get them right out of a grocery store because there's no way to GMO that form of mold. Not only is it going to help break down any wood, especially hardwoods, depending on which ones you're doing, because like your white cap mushrooms, if you go out on YouTube and you really start looking into just the simple shiitakes, the simple little white caps, whatever, these things are being bred on bags of hay. They're going to go through any tree. They're going to speed up any wood chip breakdown. Once that stuff goes hyperactive, you don't even have to add sugar in the case of mushrooms. There's something else from mushrooms. It's buried in my book. None of you have ever asked me about it. So I'm assuming y'all overread it, completely missed it. But there's something special in mushrooms that we're not getting in most of our other foods. It's there, but not to the level of mushrooms. So those of you that have the book, you need to go back and look because you're all missing something. And none of you have ever asked me about it. And I'm not going to go into it unless somebody asks. But there's something wizarding going on with mushrooms. Something a little different. Yes, it is in every plant. It is in everything that we eat. But it's more so in mushrooms than anywhere else. And I covered it in the book. And none of you have caught it. But I'll wait, because eventually somebody's going to come up and go, hey, there's a word in here I've never heard before in the book you're talking about, and nobody's talking about it. No, 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 no. It's buried in the book. 114 pages. There's your challenge. And I got to do another video. I'll do it offline because I got to figure out how to bring other images up here and show it to you guys. I think I might have to do the StreamYard or Streamlabs to be able to control the screen enough to bring these other videos in. Somebody did a shout out for my channel and tweaked the green wizard icon so that the staff I'm standing there holding, or the little wizard is standing there holding, actually is glowing and has beams coming off it. It's really cool. It's going to get emailed to me. A couple of channels have done shout outs for me and never said anything. But this one I happened to find out about today, and it's really, really wild. Well, Oz, it's not like I don't have the king of live streaming here. Okay, all right, and you can all agree. Just put in a number 2 if you know what I'm talking about. The king of live streaming while sleeping. Just saying. So if I'm gonna run into a problem, I just have to call over and wake up the king of live streaming and find out what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so see, a lot of you understand what I'm talking about. The king is here, Oz. You may not have caught it, but the king of live streaming. Oh, yeah. Well, to my understanding, it's the same as we were doing before. I'm sure it's going to be under a different name, but it's just going to be a share screen or something where I can share the video or I can share what my screen is seeing. I don't know that audio will carry over. I'm assuming if I'm in control, the audio will carry over, even if I'm watching somebody else's webpage. It won't make any difference. But yeah, other channels are doing shout outs for me. I don't know anything about. which is awesome. You know, if we're going to get this information out and get everybody up to speed, especially these NPK sold people. We've got to wake these people up. They're hurting everybody. They just don't know it. So did you get enough sleep, Bobby? I mean, the kids are going to be going active here shortly. Did you get enough sleep? Are you ready for them? Because you're probably looking for you to go live here soon. Wait a minute. Your boyfriend is too precious to get out in the rain and change a tire on your car so you can take the car home. Mystic. I really want to run with that, you know, because real men take showers and a little bit of water don't matter to us. We'll go right out there in a downpour and change a tire on a car, especially to take care of our girlfriends. So just saying. Well, if you're ready to go, Bobby, I'll turn off because I'm over 30 minutes already. I'm good to go. You know, and I'm not monetized. I'm not interested in being monetized. Yeah, it'd be great to get, you know, more coffee funds in here, but you've got me covered this month. I'm good to go. See, Mystic's not going to talk to me anymore. She's going to look down on me. Or she's over there busting her boyfriend's chops. Well, you should hear the men on this channel talking, boy, because you won't go out and change a tire in a little bit. Give him a bar of soap. You know, I mean, come on. What's a little bit of rain going to do? Wash his hair? I mean, come on. No, Bobby, they can't hang with you. That's why everybody drops out. Come on. Nobody can put in the amount of hours you're putting in. That's why you're king here. When it comes to live streaming, you're king. You've got this down. Well, duh. Because that's real men, Bobby. Not only will we shut up, we'll do anything they ask. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. All right. I get that. I get that. Go feed the man. Then he can go back and change the tire because it's Friday. That's me playing an Indian flute, hippie chick. I'm working on another one. It just doesn't sound right just yet. I can't carry the notes long enough because it's a very windy instrument. Oh, bummer. All right. Well, I guess you get what you get. All right, everybody. I'm crossing that 40 minute threshold here in a second. So, and we're already starting to lose numbers. So it's all good. Thanks for stopping in. This was the GRIZZ special episode just to help him out. And I'm going to shut off. Everybody start heading over to Bobby's because we're going to push him into going live here because the kids are home from school. It's now 3:01. And hey, I appreciate y'all coming. I really do. We'll see y'all on the next stream. You know where to find me. I'll be out there somewhere. We'll talk to you, everybody. Have a great day.